For the past several years, Jenelle Evans has been threatening to start a podcast. The woman has a long history on never following through with anything, but against all odds, she actually managed to get the cleverly titled Jenelle Eason podcast off the ground. Well, sort of. The first episode was just 11 minutes of Jenelle rambling incoherently, and the second installment, well, somehow it's even more of a train wreck. We understand that the best podcast hosts make it look easy, but someone should have told Jenelle and her special guest host David Eason that they needed to go into this thing with a little bit of preparation and a rough idea of what they wanted to say. At the very least, they could have gotten out of bed to record the episode. But no, Jenelle and David decided to take an extremely casual, possibly sedated approach to the show's sophomore offering. Over the course of a painful 44 minutes, the dead air was so frequent and so awkward that David finally felt the need to comment on it. "I know this is Jenelle's podcast, but this is not the Silence podcast," Eason said. "Because Jenelle talks a lot. Ha." Making a boomer white joke about blabbermouth women and insulting his wife's podcast at the same time. Classic David. Anyway, eventually a conversation sort of began to take shape, and the Easons tackled a subject that's been all over the news in recent months. No, thankfully they didn't launch into an anti-vax rant that prominently featured the word sheeple. What they did do was share their thoughts on Britney Spears' conservatorship and her ongoing legal battle against her father. Perhaps not surprisingly, David was mostly interested in discussing Britney's topless photos, which appeared on her Instagram page last week. "I think she deserves freedom. Obviously she wants it, 'cause she posted pictures of her boobies yesterday," David said, according to the Ashley's Reality Roundup. "She wasn't allowed to drive, she had to eat certain things, she couldn't hang out with people, she couldn't have friends," Jenelle chimed in. "Yeah, it's really crazy how she got stripped of her simple, civil liberties." After a bit more rambling about Brit's conservatorship, David offered his take on transgender athletes. "What I don't understand is they allow men to compete as women, and that's not considered any sort of enhancement," he asked. "Like, come on. That's an enhancement, but you can smoke weed. It has a friggin' plant." From there, he shared his belief that energy drinks should be outlawed, because apparently he and Jenelle are health nuts now. "It causes cancer, and the government knows it. You know, the aspartame." David enthused. "Isn't that like sugar?" Jenelle responds. And then, the conversation turned to Jenelle's very favorite topic, her haters. "I post one thing, and they go canceling me. Trying to contact the company, and being like, she did this, she did that." Jenelle whined. "Why y'all can keep bringing up my past, but I've changed and everyone sees it. If everyone sees it, then why does Jenelle keep getting called out and cancelled? It's a mystery. I think the hate dying down somewhat on our part. We've been through so much I've been so rotting public about everything," Evans rumbled on. "I told everyone why I am leaving David, and then why I am getting back with him. I swallowed my pride and I didn't really give a f about what people would think. We probably don't need to tell you what happened next. I can do what I want, and that's what the haters hate," Jenelle says gleefully. "That's why I like working at home. You can do whatever you want. You have your own schedule, you reign your own boss. No one else telling you what to do. You just do it. If I don't feel good, I take a mental break and watch TikTok all day." "Well, you do that most days," David pointed out. "That's another thing I do. I sit down a lot," Jenelle mumbled, clearly losing interest in her own podcast. "I have to tell myself, okay, you've been doing this all day, sitting here editing or sitting here doing on the computer. You need to go outside. Yeah, that's my day." That explains why she has so much time to obsess over the haters. We don't tell her how to live her life, but she should probably try to squeeze making a nutritionally complete meal for her kids into her busy schedule. We know it'll interfere with her busy days, but it seems like she should occasionally prioritize childcare over arguing with strangers on the internet.